Tesla stock is currently down 1.7% at the time of recording this video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have a lot of big news to go over here in this video. I will also explain a little bit of that sell-off yesterday towards the end of the day, what caused that and what's causing Tesla stock to move down now. But first things first, we have to start with some huge news from Elon Musk, and honestly, I'm shocked he said this publicly. Unusual Whales is reporting that Chief Executive Elon Musk of Tesla has made a strategic pivot towards autonomous driving, AI, and robotics, telling investors that these technologies would soon be Tesla's main revenue source, as per the Financial Times this morning. I think obviously for the longevity of Tesla stock, that's going to be huge, especially once Tesla starts bringing in a lot of money from AI and robotics. That's going to be a whole new Tesla. Okay, to a certain extent, it's already a whole new Tesla. But Wall Street could be taking this with a little bit of nervousness because it does suggest that Tesla's focusing less on the car business. It would be like, let's say, Google, which reports earnings today and after hours, if they said, we're not going to focus too much on the Google search part of our business. We're going to focus more on AI. That may or may not pay off in the long run. That's going to make investors a little bit nervous. But I actually do think this is the right step for Tesla to be doing now. And again, I don't think Tesla's sacrificing the car business. That's not what I'm saying here. Wall Street, they're not as smart as you give them credit for. And some people with the lack of what seems to be brain cells sometimes can get a little nervous, can get a little jumpy here and there. And the news yesterday towards the end of the day that caused Tesla stock to sell off a little bit was this. Toyota and Japan's NTT will invest $3.2 billion in research and development to create artificial intelligence software to improve self-driving. They're planning to develop automotive software which will use AI to anticipate accidents and take control of the vehicle. Is this something to be concerned with as a Tesla stock investor? Absolutely not. But following the aggressive rally that we have seen, any competition from such a well-established car company like Toyota is going to be seen as a little, again, nerve-wracking for some investors that lack the certain amount of brain cells to make a calculated decision. But should you be nervous about this, considering you are a sophisticated Tesla stock investor that understands AI, robotics, and vehicles more than the average person? Absolutely not. Now, part of the last couple of days of selling for Tesla stock, really the last 48 hours, has to do with bond yields. 10-year treasury yields are moving higher yet again today. 10-year treasury yields are up to 4.282%. At one point, they were up to 4.33%. You have seen yields fall back a little bit following a better than expected bond auction where you did get some good demand that came in, but the bond market is essentially broken. This morning, we had JOLTS job openings that came in at 7.443 million. Get this? It was over 500,000 lower than expected. The expectation was about 8 million. So the labor market is plummeting. The labor market is not in a good place. That should have sent bond yields sharply lower. That did not happen. Now, we'll talk about this a little bit more in the next video, but it seems like perhaps the election is influencing the bond market more than the economy, more than the economic data. That's a little problematic. I don't know how this will resolve itself, whether yields will shoot down or shoot up or what happens with equities, but this is really the main story that has been affecting Tesla stock in the last 48 hours. CB consumer confidence also skyrocketed today. Expectation was 99.5. You came in at 108.7, but this largely has to do with the stock market continuing to rally. Consumer confidence tends to, lag behind the stock market. So if the stock market goes up, consumer confidence goes up. If stock market falls, consumer confidence also falls. So I don't read too much into that. Definitively speaking, JOLTS job openings plummeting 530,000 worse than expected shows the economy is not nearly as strong as we previously thought. Now, we do have lots of other Tesla stock news, so we will get to that. We will also cover Google's earnings today at 8 p.m. Come join us. That video will be posted right at 8 p.m. And I think you need to really watch that video because there is going to be some pretty big events coming within just the next couple of days. From the earnings standpoint, today and after hours, we have AMD, Alphabet, Snapchat, Chipotle, Visa, First Solar, Reddit, Qorvo, Chubbs, and Innovix. Tomorrow in pre-market, you have Eli Lilly, Caterpillar, Humana, Global Payments, Trinity, Biogen, Brinker, ADP, Jinko Solar, and Santander. And then Wednesday and after hours, so tomorrow and after hours, you have Microsoft, Meta, Coinbase, Robinhood, Sonova, Etsy, Riot, Roku, Carvana, and Starbucks. And then Thursday pre-market, Uber, Peloton, Merck, ConocoPhillips, Altria, SiriusXM, MasterCard, Estee Lauder, Kellanova, Norwegian Cruise Line. And then Thursday and after hours, you have Amazon, Apple, Intel, Atlassian, and a couple of others. Friday pre-market, Fubo, Chevron, ExxonMobil, and Wayfair. Now, I will say today's earnings with Alphabet and AMD, they're really going to pave the way for the rest of your trillion-plus-dollar companies to report. And depending on what these companies do, it's going to heavily influence the trading before tomorrow's earnings and before Thursday's earnings. But nonetheless, let's continue on with some of your Tesla stock news. We'll discuss all of that in more depth coming out at 8 p.m. tonight. Sawyer Merritt reports that according to 10 new public filings, Tesla plans to complete the interior build-out of 5.2 million square feet within its Giga Texas factory by the end of 2025. According to these filings, the start date was last week. So there's new construction work taking place, which seems to be getting ready for the lower price Tesla to launch. I think that's probably being worked on right now. Getting some more capacity going, and also things for Optimus. I think that's going to start taking a more front and center stage for Tesla. Tesla posted this on their X account that says estimated life cycle emissions for autonomy are significantly lower of all miles driven is with 2 passengers or fewer. It's 82% better as far as an emissions standpoint to ride in a robotaxi versus a taxi ride in a internal combustion engine vehicle. LG Energy said the batteries for the Mustang Mach-E will be made in the US starting next year. The Mach-E is made in Mexico and its batteries are made in Poland. Elon Musk's XAI plans to bring online an additional 100,000 NVIDIA GPUs at its Memphis, Tennessee training cluster within the next 2 months for a total of 200,000 NVIDIA GPUs, doubling the size of what was already the world's largest and most powerful supercomputer. Chris Warman writes on X, how much longer until Tesla isn't compared to other car companies? Sawyer Merritt responds and says, when most of the revenue doesn't come from car sales, and Elon Musk replies and says, yeah. And beginning today, Tesla's supercharger network is now officially open to Polestar EVs throughout the US and Canada. Polestar EVs will now be able to charge at over 17,800 Tesla superchargers throughout North America. Today, GM introduced their first Cadillac performance EV, the Lyriq V, available spring of 2025. And Barclays has raised their Tesla price target to $235 per share from $220 per share while maintaining its equal weight rating. Neoen has just turned on its 219 megawatt, 877 megawatt hour Tesla Megapack battery, the largest in Western Australia, but this is just stage 1. When complete, this $1.1 billion Tesla Megapack battery energy storage system will be over twice the size of the battery system pictured below, a massive 560 megawatt, 2,240 megawatt hour battery. Last week, for the week of October 21st through the 27th, Tesla registered 10,100 Teslas in China. That compares to a slight drop from this same week last year when Tesla registered 10,800 vehicles, and an increase from 2022 where Tesla registered 8,079 vehicles. So Tesla still looks to be doing pretty good. But if we're going to have a 500,000+ delivery quarter, as Tesla kind of alluded to on the earnings call, or Elon specifically, then you're going to start seeing these numbers really ramp up from now into the end of this year. Here on the day today for Tesla stock, short interest of free float sits at 2.85%. That is recently up from about 2.65%. The dollar amount sold short in Tesla is 20.89 billion, and you do have 79.5 million shares that are currently sold short. You can see today you have return shares of 3.5 million and borrowed shares of 575,000. So you actually have almost 3 million shares today that are being covered on. So short sellers, they're taking the opportunity while Tesla stock is down today to cover on short positions, which is actually a good sign for what could be to come for Tesla stock. Now, option activity today from hedge funds and institutions is coming in 136 different trades, totaling $69.5 million, with a positive order value of 53%, which, all things considered, Tesla's down over 1% at the time of recording this video. That's pretty good. 53% positive order value on a day like today, I'll take it. And actually, sentiment for Tesla stock is bullish today at 64. Yesterday, it was bearish at 40, so sentiment looks pretty good. Message volume is normal at 50. Yesterday, it was normal at 48, and the participation ratio is high at 55. Global inventory numbers are shooting higher for the Model Y, now up to 8,300 from recently being reported at 6,300, so that's a big jump. The Model 3 is trending higher, up to about 5,500 vehicles in inventory, the Model X to about 4,300, and the Model S to about 2,900. And Tesla continues to run about 4,000 different ads with Google. The percent of stocks trading above their 50-day moving average today is getting worse. You're now down to 55.81%, and about 1.7% of stocks today are falling below their 50-day moving average. So even though the headline S&P looks like it's doing good, you're actually seeing a pretty bad day out there today for markets. It's really the overcrowding in big tech that is propping up the S&P, and that is because we haven't got big tech earnings yet. And after big tech earnings, that's where really Wall Street's going to make their conclusions. Should we keep buying big tech? Is big tech, fairly valued? Is it cheap? Like, you really don't know until you know. And that's why the markets are buying up big tech today as 10-year treasury yields go higher and the economy is worsening. It makes sense why investors are crowding into big tech to a certain extent. I mean, if we're truly going into a recession, we just plummeted 530,000 job openings last month. The unemployment rate's going to go higher. The amount of jobs created last month is surely going to look bad. Should you really be piling into big tech? Is that really a safety trade? I don't think so. But from the market's perspective right now, it is. And unfortunately, Tesla is so sensitive to interest rates. Even consider they're buying down interest rates for their customers to take possession of Teslas and to essentially buy Teslas. Each basis point 10-year treasury yields go up, go higher, it's hurting Tesla, which, when you get these days like 10-year treasury yields are disconnected and continuing to go higher, it does negatively affect Tesla much more than these other big tech names. Google Trends for the Tesla lineup is moving downwards a little bit from 29 recently down to 26. The Model 3 is moving from 24 to 21, the Model S from 11 to 10, and the Model X is staying right at about 9. The Cybertruck is also falling from 42 to 37. So let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. Again, in the next video, we will be going over a little bit more in-depth analysis on our markets. What happened today with Google earnings, what to look out for coming tomorrow and throughout the rest of earnings season, and specifically Tesla stock, where Tesla is likely going next. I'll share my thoughts on that as well. So let me know what you guys think about this information down below in the comment section. You guys have a safe rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.